Hey guys, it's Miss Jones. Today I want to talk to you guys about plot and kind of go more in depth about plot. I know we learned about it yesterday and we learned about how it's the what and the why and how it's the events of the story, beginning, middle, end. But today I really want to go into depth with plot and talk about all the different kind of pieces that go together to make the plot what it is. All right, so we're going to take some notes. So everything I write down, I want you to write down. Feel free to pause the video at any point if you need to take a minute and get the notes down, if I'm going too fast or anything like that. So pause it if you would like. All right, so at the top we're gonna write plot, and I'm gonna underline mine, plot. Done. And then, what is plot? So let's think, what is plot? We know it's the what and the when, and then we know it's beginning, middle, end. Which means that it also is the events that happen in the story. But if you think of beginning, middle, and end, it has to go in a certain order. You can't have end, middle, beginning, or end, beginning, middle, or middle, end, beginning. It has to go in a certain order for it to make sense. So our plot is the sequence of events in a story. So the sequence of events in a story. Sequence of events. Great, you guys are doing a great job. All right, so next we're gonna draw a plot diagram. And what this is like a really big triangle that takes up the entire page. Okay, so we want to draw a line here, make it a little bit longer. Okay, then we're gonna go all the way up. Okay, then we're gonna come all the way back down. And then we're gonna draw a line again. So you see, big triangle. All right, pause the video now if you need time to get this down. Great, now that we've got that down, what I want you to do, well, what we're going to do is we're going to talk about the certain words that go with our plot diagram. So one of them, which goes right here, is exposition. So exposition, and that kind of means it could be the beginning or the introduction to the story. So like the thing that sets the story up. So how we begin the story, so exposition. Our next thing, right here, is rising action. Rising action. And we're gonna go over what all these terms mean in just a second. So we got exposition and we got rising action. All right, now up here at the very tippy top point, we have the climax, which is the most interesting part of the story. It's a very tippy top. Great, and then right across from rising action, we have falling action. Falling action. Falling action. And then we go all the way down to the bottom here, and we write, wrong end, resolution. So our last piece is resolution. And then I like to draw arrows going up because we start with exposition and we go all the way up to rising action. And then we keep going up and up and up and up, and then we get to climax. And then we go up and up. And then once we hit that climax, we go back down, down, down. And then we keep going down until we hit falling action. Oops, sorry guys. Until we hit that falling action. Boop, boop. All the way down. And we keep going all the way down until we hit resolution. Boop, 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 all the way down. And that is what our plot diagram needs to look like. I'll try and fit all of this here. All right. If you need to, take a minute, pause. All right, now that we've got that written down, let's look at our first one, which is exposition. So I'm gonna draw a little arrow. So what is an exposition? What is it? An exposition is an introduction with some character and setting information. So our exposition, like I said before, sets up our story. It gives us an introduction. It tells us some of the characters. Maybe not all the characters, but we get to meet some of the characters. Most of the time, you'll get to meet your main character in the exposition, the very beginning of the story. Then, we got setting, and he gives us some background for setting. With that first few pages, you should find out where your story takes place and when. So exposition is the introduction. Okay? Pause if you need to so you can get that down. Now that we got that, we're going to climb all the way up our mountain and go to rising action. I'm going to underline mine and make it look better. So rising action is the part or parts of the story that the conflict grows through the events through events that build interest and suspense. There's going to be a picture of this on your Canvas page in case you can't see it or the words are all scribbled into the side. All right, so the rising action is the part of the story where the conflict grows through events that build interest and suspense. Now we know conflict is the problem, right? So the problem of the story begins and grows through this rising action. You know, we keep going and we're going and going, and things keep happening that kind of build that conflict up, and we're like, oh my God, what's going to happen next? I don't know. So that's the rising action. It's giving us that, it's building interest in the story and suspense in the story, and we want to keep reading and find out. Pause if you need to. All right, next is climax. So what does climax mean? So climax is the turning point in the story where the problem can't get any worse. The beginning, it is also the beginning of the solution. So our climax is the turning point in the story where the problem can't get any worse, and is also the beginning of the solution. So that's when our rising action, you know, our conflict's growing and growing and growing and growing and growing, and then we hit the point where it can't grow anymore. The problem is here, it's gotten really bad, and now we need to fix it. So that's what the climax is when that problem has gotten so bad that we need to fix it now. It's time for us to fix it. So then we start thinking of things to fix it. So the beginning of the solution. This is when the problem is starting to get fixed. Maybe we're thinking of things to fix it with. So then the following action. That brings us to the following action. And what does that mean? The following action is the events after the climax that led to the resolution. So that means after that big problem happened here in the climax, after we went through that big problem, this is what happens afterwards. What happened after that problem happened? What happened? Let's think about Recess Queen, right? We read that yesterday. So we think about the climax was that she couldn't play and Katie Sue didn't listen to her. Or Mean Gene said that Katie Sue couldn't play, right? And that Katie Sue didn't listen. That was our big, like, point of the story. So then our following action would be what? It'd be Katie Sue asking Mean Gene to jump rope with her, because that followed after, and that's leading us to our resolution. Because our resolution is when after the problem is fixed. So this is kind of like fixing the problem. So following action is kind of like fixing the problem. Now resolution. We got our fixing our problems. What happens after we fix the problem? So resolution is the conclusion to the story where the solution to the problem / conflict is revealed. So our resolution is that point where our problem is fixed, we have a solution, this is what happened. And that's our conclusion to our story, is finding how to fix the problem and fixing it. And then what happens after we fix it? All right. And that is your plot or diagram. Yours should look very similar to mine. It is okay if you move this down a little bit, just because I know even with mine, I kind of ran over space. But it should look like this. If at any point you need to pause and copy that down, you can. There will also be a picture of this on the Canvas page above this video, or below it, either above or below, you'll see. All right, thanks guys. Thanks so much guys for watching this. I really hope it helped you guys. If you need any help, please Zoom with me at 12:30 today, okay? So if you need any help with this, 12:30, I will be on Zoom ready to help you. All right, bye guys.